girls for Jackie. That shit off. One more time for Gwen. I was watching her up there, I was thinking MILF. And then she said she was 61, I was thinking grand MILF. Gil. You're still 61, I shouldn't ask how old you are. How much do you weigh? I still want to be rude. You know, it's nice to see older people here. I play a lot of colleges and I get all these 20-year-old asshole kids and they sit out there and they text and they sext and they do all that shit and they're not paying attention and they're drinking and he and she and she and she and but anyway, it's nice to see some older people. I've gotten to be one of them. I never thought I was. I go to the doctor now. They always want to check my prostate and that annoys the shit out of me. About 2 weeks ago I got my checkup right up the thing, you know. I told him I just had that done 2 weeks earlier at a party. I had to do it. My wife and I went out shopping afterwards, and then we had dinner. I get home, to tell you how old I am, I got an answering machine, and there's a message on my machine from the office, and I need to call first thing in the morning right away. It's important, you know. I didn't sleep that night. I was worried all night. I thought maybe he found a pallet for cancer or something. Turns out he lost his school ring. I'll bet next time he'll wear the glove, huh? He wasn't much of a dentist anyhow. I actually did get a checkup a couple weeks ago. I had this quack, he told me, he said he wanted me to take antidepressants. I said, I'm not depressed, why would I take antidepressants? And he was persistent as hell, and I finally said to him, I said, look, doc, I said, I'm not depressed. If ever I feel old, fat, ugly, stupid, and depressed, I go to Walmart, 5 minutes in a Walmart, I can do this pretty good. Is anybody here from Palatka? You're from Massachusetts. They talk way different in Palatka. Well, let me tell you something. I found a Walmart in Palatka. I felt like a movie star. I mean, I had a shirt, I had shoes, I had teeth. My wife, when you get out of the car, you know, I said, I got to go in and buy a pair of Wranglers. She says, now make sure you use the dressing room. She says, you get a lot less of that staring. The staring shit really annoys the shit out of me. But anyway, so I go in this dressing room, right? I'm sitting there trying to drive through. I hear a knock on the wall, not the door, but a wall. I think, oh my God, it's a Republican senator. Well, what? You know, the guy in the next booth is running out of paper. He's got a future greeter thing in his right there. My wife says, when you're in there, she says, pick up a couple pounds of bacon potatoes, right? So I head over to the produce and I get up the potato bin. There's a lady standing there. She's standing there like this. She's holding 2 big potatoes. And she's staring at them, she's staring at them. I finally said, lady, I said, why the hell are you staring at the potatoes like that? She said, you remind me of my husband's testicles. She said, your husband's testicles are that big? She says, no, but they're about that dirty. Come on, you've all been to Walmart. Did you ever buy an 8-piece chicken in Walmart?
Yeah!
I bought the 8-piece chicken one time. I took it out to my truck. I put together, it was a cat. It was good. And now for your shopping pleasure, they've hung these TV monitor things from the ceiling so they can have commercials running 24 hours a day. And I'm not real bright, and I find myself watching them, you know. One day I'm watching, there's a Clorox spray disinfectant commercial running. And I don't know why I'm watching it, I don't buy that shit. But anyway, it shows this like middle class woman and she's spraying her telephone while her little asshole two children are watching. And then it shows her spraying the toilet seat. And you know, I don't really get that because the only thing you can get off the toilet seat is the AIDS virus, and you pretty much have to sit down before the guy before you got off. You know? I thought that was going to get a better laugh than that, to be honest. You guys wanted to go in a whole damn different direction on that. Hey, when the little assholes working at Walmart become associates, I asked this like pimply-faced 20-year-old, I'm in the pharmacy section, I said, where the hell is the KY jelly? He says, it's next to the peanut butter. I got the crunchy for her pleasure. Also, wonder why if they make a KY jelly, they don't make a KY jam. Who all hates Walmart? My wife really, she won't go into Walmart. She says, if I'm in a good mood, I come out in a bad mood. But I gotta admit, if I go in there to buy a couple packs of cigarettes, or say do my Christmas shopping, because I'm white trash and that's where I would do that. But anyway, it takes the same amount of time to get the hell out of that place. But one day I get in the express line, I got about 5 items and there's a couple in front of me, and I'm not sure what they were a couple of. I think one had an Adam's apple. But they had a half a cart full of shit. It wasn't TVs and stereos. It was little shit. And is anybody else as anal as I am is while they're putting it up on the belt, you know they have too much shit, you count to yourself? I don't know why I do that. It doesn't get me anything. But anyway, I got to 20, and she still had like a half a cart full of shit, and that Walmart Tourette thing kicked in. I started counting out loud, like real loud. I got 37, 38. And this lady turns and she looks at me and she says, "You're an asshole." I was like, yeah, but I can count to 20. Bitch. I didn't really call her a bitch because I wasn't sure as a woman and I was a little bit scared. Somebody up here is the fifth wedding anniversary, is that what I heard? Anybody? That's like all women except for one gay man, right? Any of you guys in a same-sex marriage? Same-sex marriage? You two guys?
Yeah, us two guys here.
Yeah, cute couple.
Thank you.
I can't be the only one here in a same-sex marriage. No, I've had the same sex for 29 years. So same every day, same time of day, same position.
This hour.
No. I married a screamer. She screams at like the same exact time during sex. Get off my hair! I'm really kind of bragging a little bit. The truth is, we hardly ever have sex. She's always got a headache, or she's not in the mood. You know, fucks one guy a day. Never my day. That's not completely true either. One day, I'm pretty sure it was my day. She comes running in the bedroom naked, throws herself up in the bed, and she yells, "Super pussy!" I said, I believe I'll have the soup. Wasn't the response she was looking for. You ever hear this one? I've got a vibrator that can do anything you can do. She didn't make her car payment. One time in 29 years, not a great average, my wife came to me and she said, I want to spice up our sex life. She said, I want to have a three-way, a menage a trois, with one of her girlfriends. I had to think about that shit. I finally said, I'm not apologizing to two women. You know. Sent me to one of them self-help groups for premature ejaculators. You guys remember that, right? I went, but I left early. I've already been paid, so it doesn't really matter what I say up here. And I'm going to tell you guys something I wouldn't ordinarily talk about on a Saturday night. My favorite position with my wife is kind of doggy style. You know, from behind. And I got 3 reasons for that. And only one of those reasons is important, is I don't have to see the look of disappointment on her face. And 2, I can watch Leno or Letterman. And 3, if and only if I warm that ashtray up, I can set it right on her back. This isn't my point. The point is, one day, my birthday is October 18th, which is a few days ago. I was doing... You're not going to fucking sing? Well, I was doing my wife from behind like that, and I was giving her the old, who's your daddy? Who is your daddy? Do I sound like a black guy, or is that more like Jackie Gleason? But anyway, she turns and she looks at me, and she says, you're not my daddy, but you look like some of his friends. Man, I had to do what I got when I married her. I knew she was an nymphomaniac. I haven't slept in 29 years. I mean, I'm up all night every night. wonder where she is if she's coming home. The old lady always mad at you. Has anybody got a wife that's always mad at you? You got a husband? What do you guys got? But you're with this guy, with that guy too? Well, my wife's always pissed at
We're
me.
all together.
That's nice. I think before it's something different.
Well, there's only 3 of us at a time.
Oh, that's nice. Well, my wife's always pissed anyway. How many people here from St. Augustine? All 7 of you. We have a naked beach just north of town at Guana State Park Middle Entrance, if anybody needs to know. But anyway, a couple weeks ago, I told my wife, I said, I'm taking my dogs over to the beach. Now, I didn't mention I was going to the naked beach, and I did. But anyway, I got a golden retriever. You said you had a new dog. I got a golden retriever who will chase anything on a bicycle. I should have never taught him to ride. Well, that was so. My chocolate lab, Jewish, but swim the same day she's my wife's daughter, Daniels. But anyway, explain that to her. Well, I take my dogs out to the beach, right? And I'm stretched out on the beach. I'm watching my dogs swim. I'm 58 years old and I'm kind of fat. I look like a 40-year-old joint with little tiny stems sticking through the face. But I'm laying there and I start thinking, if my unit, my tallywhacker, sir, gets all sunburned, my wife's gonna know I just didn't go to the beach. So I grab some sunscreen and start smearing that on. That is so hard to stop. Sheriff took me home, me and my 2 dogs, right? It was embarrassing. He tells my wife there's a fine line between sun protection and lewd lascivious. She's mad about the funeral. We had to go to her cousin's funeral. I didn't know this cousin. I didn't want to go. She said, you need to go. My whole family's going to be there. None of them were there, except for us, too. She said, it's just ridiculous. We get there, and there's this like minister-type guy. You guys have all been to the funeral. He's up front of the room. He's doing like this long-winded, boring-ass sermon about life and death and the hereafter, you know. And right in the middle of this guy's sermon, he farted like really, really, really. I kept a straight face until I heard the guy behind me. He says, man, it smells like somebody died. I think she was more mad about that than she was the beach. Yeah. Seems like a lot of times she hates me, you know, it really does. I mean, I know she's sort of much like me, because one day I came home and there was like a little package and it had my name on it. It was gift wrapped and had a ribbon around it. It looked like gay jewelry, but it looked like, I mean, a little tiny box like this. I'm not a jewelry kind of guy, but it had my name on it, so I opened it. She comes walking in the room and I have this thing open and I'm looking at it, and you can tell I'm kind of eloquent. And I said, what the fuck is that? And she says, it's a pedometer. She says, I thought you should have a walking program because you picked up a couple of pounds over the holidays last year. I said, everybody picks up 30 or 40 pounds at Christmas. You burn it off before the next Christmas and do it again. But anyway, she said I should have a walking program. And I said I would try this because I don't want her to leave me because she would take half this stuff. And it turns out that her stuff is good and mine is crap, you know. But anyway, I'm reading the directions on this pedometer. It says for optimum health. Do I look like I'm looking for optimum health? If I was looking for optimum health, I wouldn't smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day. I wouldn't drink a quart of vodka every day. I wouldn't smoke pot every day. And then there's crystal. Not crystal meth. Crystal's my favorite hooker. Well, Bambi Lee's my favorite hooker, but she's doing time. Crystal's my favorite of it.